Okay, welcome back to the blog. So as you can see, we've got the engine on the stand. We've got the rear main seal in. We've got some block plugs, oil galleries. We've got the inspection port for the piston pin covered with one of the circular plugs, and then the plate on and the EU sealant on that. Actually some spare water jacket bolts with a perfect size just to go through into the gearbox bell housing area to secure to the engine stand. And now we've cleaned up the area where the oil pump is. We're going to put the O-ring on here, and then you have sealant on this area of the pump. So we'll put the sealant on, we'll get the oil pump on and torque it up to spec, and then we can flip it over, do the sump. I've also got these new piston pin plugs in, torqued up 70 Newton meters. I've just put this in to stop dirt and water ingress, because basically this will come off with an oil pressure sensor here. Tighten this one for now, and this is going to be your water crossover, so I want to give that a clean later. I've got some U-rings to install on there, so it's all coming together. But that's what the engine looks like pretty much for a short block on the stand. So now we're going to go with the oil pump and put sealant all around here, the whole way up and right and over, and that'll seal it. And you also have that's the space for the O-ring there. So yeah, all good. We'll get that on, and obviously if you can see that pattern there, you want to stick to the sealant pattern. And I've also hammered in very gently, if you can see that, the seal. So that's for the other side of the crankshaft, the small pointy end, the nose. So yeah, so I've got a 12mm oil pump here because basically the bearings, the clearances, I run an external oil cooler on the car, so for the flow, the pressure, keep it up, I just went for 12mm. It's worked on the last engine, really happy with it. Constant good flow, oil pressure, everything, never missed a beat. So going back to what I know, and yeah, we'll get the oil pump on. What I'm going to do is do a practice, because one of the things is on the crankshaft, if you can feel it, sorry, here, there's this flat spot here and a flat spot here. So you want to make sure they're lined up with the wheel gearing on your oil pump, because that's what will actually drive it. So get that on, get your O-ring on here, and then put your sealant on, slide the whole lot on and torque it up. Okay, here I've got the Killer Bee reinforced oil pickup. As you can see, it's pretty sturdy, nice bit of kit. Picked this up from Real Street Performance. Yeah, seriously impressive compared to the original. And just keeping this protected until I install the O-ring, get it back on the block, and then we're ready to clean around the sides, sealant, and get the sump on, which will be fantastic as well. Can't wait. And that should be pretty much the block kind of sealed, that it'll be easier to protect now when it's on the stand from dust and things, but it's starting to come along. Okay, from my last video I went to put the Killer Bee sump suction on, and I realized I'd made a mistake, because I have this lovely Roger Clark Motorsport baffle plate. So this actually goes on first. We'll seal that down, then the sump suction, so it fits in like that, and that gives you clearance to do those, and the bolt holes for torquing down your baffle and your suction. So hopefully all good. We'll get that one tightened in, and that prevents water, that keeps your oil where it should be, drains down into the sump, because obviously this is upside down and it can't move when you're doing high cornering speeds and things like that. So we'll get that all lubed up, and yeah, that's how it looks. Sorry, my brain's a bit frozen because it's pretty chilly at the moment at the end of January here, so yeah, not too much decent audio commentary, I'm afraid, but yeah, that's what it looks like. Okay, so oil pipe is tightened on, torqued down 10 Newton meters. Now this was the tricky bit, because baffle plate, to get it to fit, I had to notch this a little, because it's designed to work with the OEM one and not the Killer Bee one. So I gave it a good soapy hot water wash again, sprayed with degreaser, dried with compressed air, just to make sure there's no filing. So this is torqued down now. The way is to get some sealant in here, sealant on here, and then we mash the sump down, sump on top, job done. And that will be it sealed. So we've also got an O-ring here that goes into this part here, and then you just torque all the bolts down around, and that should be a pretty nice race spec bottom end. Okay, so here's the final version. I just finished putting the sump on, and I've wrapped it just to keep it clean overnight. So oil pump, everything's secured with sealant and tightened down, torqued. New sump on there. So obviously the bit that you've seen is all hidden in there in the baffle plate, and the oil pickup which extends to this part. So if you flip the engine over, that's where your oil sits there. So yeah, it's coming along. Next up, probably next episode, I'm going to start on the cylinder heads. So we've got stock cams in there, all the buckets. I need to strip them, clean everything, and I've got a complete Super Tech valve train to go in, so all titanium, all lovely stuff, and that'll be the next part of the project. I've also got a spare manifold that'll clean up. I've got some tumble gate generator valve deletes. That's a mouthful. I want to paint those, clean everything, and I've also got a water crossover pipe I want to clean, and that will go on the top side of the engine. So yeah, it's all coming together. Once you get that done, that's probably a good chunk of the work. Then, so that's, I would call that 40% of the job. That's probably another 40%. And then the rest is all these little small bits and pieces, and then you've got all like seals and different things that you need to do. So we're basically going to throw the sheet over it tonight, call it time, and that will do us. Now it's safe to leave, and we'll continue another day.